Welcome to Window Dressing. I'm Madeline Jane Auble, and this is a special bonus episode with my guest, Austin film critic, blogger, and podcaster, Frank Calvillo. This episode is called Leona's Revenge, and the idea for this came from Frank. We both love the movie Sorry, Wrong Number, which is based on the radio play from 1943 written by Lucille Fletcher, and then it was turned into a movie starring Barbara Stanwyck in 1948. But the film we're talking about today is the 1973 film Night Watch. This one stars Elizabeth Taylor, and I never realized that it's also written by Lucille Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is why we are calling this Leona's Revenge. Because it's, a few decades later and a very similar story, but with a very different ending. So that's what we're here to talk about. The movie starts with Elizabeth Taylor's character, Ellen Wheeler, and her second husband, who is John Wheeler, played by Lawrence Harvey. And she's just buying roses, wild roses, small wild roses for her garden. And one of the first characters that we meet outside of her is the neighbor, Mr. Appleby, who is kind of an odd bird who really loves gardening and turns out also used to live in used to live in her house and now lives in a smaller house on the same grounds. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I think they're neighbors, and it's just a smaller house next door, I believe. I think that's the way they described it.
Yeah, and then in between their houses, or I guess next to both of their houses, is a empty house. That's kind of scary. And this movie is very British too. That's something that I failed to mention.
It's a very British movie. Yes, exactly.
In the best way. I don't think that I wrote down their names, but I do want to note the soundscape of the movie is amazing. The score is so much like Klute. I don't know if you had that experience with it, but I love the score of this movie.
I did too. I love the score. I love the sound of this movie. I think that it's just lightning has never felt more menacing than it does here in this movie, or thunder rather. Sorry, lightning doesn't really make noise. I think thunder does.
But no, the thunder. But I understood what you meant.
Yeah,
it's like a lightning storm. That's really it's really scary. I mean, it's pretty much always storming in the movie. I just want to mention up top the costumes. The costume designer of this movie, is Yvonne Blake, who's an award-winning costume designer. But Miss Taylor's gowns were done by Valentino.
Of course,
she was. Nobody else got Valentino, but she got Valentino, and the looks are amazing. It's like, we'll get to it, but there's heavy caftans, it's so many, very much like Sorry, Wrong Number in terms of it just being like bed clothes and house clothes,
right.
But so fabulous. The one that she wears that I love the most is the lilac caftan with the what do you call that, fringy thing? Like this. It's like this. Hold on. Hold on. I can't get it in the pictures.
Okay.
But I have one. You know those frilly things that hang from curtains?
Not like ruffles, you mean?
No, it doesn't matter. But I can't remember. But it's like the drop down thing, like a tassel. Tassels.
Okay, right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So that's fabulous. And also the jewelry was designed by Van Cleef and Arpels, so everybody knows. And just some background, her best friend, whose name is Sarah Cook, played by Billy Whitelaw, is staying with them at the time.
But this is pre-Omen, Nanny and the Omen. So it's a great character for her.
Yeah, it really is. And she's very hateable immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to give too much away immediately, but at the same time, I'm like, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm not sure.
Just go for it. We can just go for it.
Okay, yeah. So, So Sarah is sleeping with Helen's husband, and it's not just egregious. It's horrible because Helen's ex-husband, who is dead, died in a car accident with his mistress, who was also like a
Exactly.
child.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, absolutely. But and we should also point out that
yeah.
uh, Sarah, it's Sarah, right? It
I
is.
think it's Sarah. Yeah,
Yeah, she's staying in their house
yeah.
to
She's
help.
staying there. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
helping out.
because she's because Ellen is still going through stuff, and she's
She's a real
she's
bitch.
yeah
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. And then to make it worse, she's telling Helen about this man that she's having an affair with that's a married man. Oh, do you remember his name? Barry. Barry. So
Barry,
she makes up this whole story about this other man, but in reality, she's talking about Helen's husband,
which is
John.
so sadistic, isn't it?
It
It
is
is just
incredibly sadistic.
yeah, it's her
Yes.
own private little joke for
Yeah,
herself
it's
on it
humiliating.
really is, yeah.
And also, I want to point out that there's the when we first meet her, she's trying on this dress that is really quite stunning, but it's a black dress that has trying to think of the word, just kind of really sculpturally poofy sleeves and stripes on those sleeves, almost very 80s looking, not at all what you would think of for, or I guess it kind of looks like a Halston dress or something, but it's probably Valentino. But it's almost like it's tulle and maybe the bodice is velvet. I don't know. But I would like to point out that it does not suit her as far as I'm concerned. It is way over the top.
Yeah, it is way over the top, and it is it is you're right, it does not suit her, but in a way it kind of does, because she's pretending not to be, she's pretending to be somebody that she
That she
isn't.
isn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's so true. So that's all going on. And let's see what happens next.
Well, Ellen, a night where she can't sleep, because she is somebody who is, trying to seek help, mental help. And, she's looked at as this very fragile sort of creature.
Mm, hmm.
And one night when she can't sleep, she goes to the living room because has this jigsaw puzzle that she's been working on.
I
She
love
tries to
that.
go, I do too. She tries to go and work on it a bit, and then looks outside she walks around the living room a couple paces, first of all, and then she goes out to the back window and looks at that creepy old house that's behind the garden,
Mm,
and stares at it for a little while. And then we see some shutters going,
hmm.
flapping in and out, and lightning and thunder. And then she starts screaming, and she insists that when her husband and friend find her, um, she insists that she saw a girl being murdered across the way. Police are called. They do their due diligence, and they go and look. They say they can't find anything. So she's making it up, according to them.
Yeah.
She's crazy, and of course the fact that she's needing that she's been seeking psychiatric help, um, just makes them completely dismiss her outright.
Yeah, it doesn't help either that her husband gives like a preamble to the
Mm.
police about what does he say? Her fragile state, basically, like you said, um, which is crazy. And also, when she wants to call the police, he's like, no, he's like, I don't want. He's like, we're not calling the police. And then finally he gets so angry, and then he's like, fine. And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
I
Like,
know.
and I don't know if we say this off the bat, but I think I'm going to, since,
Okay.
but she knew that they would act like she was crazy. She didn't really even need to act crazy for her to
Exactly.
realize that they would not take her seriously.
Right.
And this is the primary twist on the plot of Sorry, Wrong Number. Instead of it really truly being about a hysterical woman, so to speak, it is about a woman who knows that she will be treated like she's hysterical
Right.
and then
Right.
uses that to her advantage.
It's brilliant the way that she does that. And,
I
it
know.
it really is a tool and almost a lifeline for her.
Yeah.
It gives her it propels her to to do what she's about to do, and to follow through in what she's about to do.
Yeah, and there are moments throughout where you can tell that she's almost giving him a chance, her husband John,
Hmm.
to choose something else. Like
Hmm.
I think that if he had acted differently about calling the police, or if he had treated her a little bit differently about that, maybe she wouldn't have gone through with what she ends up going through with.
Right.
But there's a couple like points in the film like that where she'll literally say, "Are you sure?" You know, like give him a chance.
She's giving him a chance. She doesn't want to give up on him, but he's like failing at every chance
Yeah,
that she gives him, and it's
I
yeah,
know it's so
they're just
sad.
doomed. They're just doomed.
They really are. He's such a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is.
He really is. So the police, one of my favorite scenes, actually my favorite scene in the whole movie is when the police return and they're like, there was no, sign of violence, nothing happened over there. And she screams, "You don't believe me," and runs
Yes.
up the stairs.
Yes. But
And huh,
talk about finish your
I
thought.
think she's wearing the lilac
Oh,
caftan in that scene. I could be wrong,
uh-huh.
but if she is, it's just like, oh, it's so perfect.
It is perfect. I
Yeah.
think she is. But do you remember that line that they say when they're leaving her house for the first time?
Mm-mm.
One of the
Oh.
cops asks, the inspector, like, well, is this, what do you think? Money or menopause? The rich always get nervous.
Oh my God. I know. It's just like she's, yes, I think I wrote something like, oh, menopause. She's no longer, a sexual object, so therefore disposable or something like that.
Yeah,
Also, there's this question that he asked the husband. I don't know if it's on this first visit or on the second visit, where he asks her, "How often is your wife alone?" And,
that's right.
and he says, "Not more than most women."
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so
Oh,
funny.
sign of the times.
I know, really. But also just so similar to the 1948 Sorry, Wrong
Hmm.
Number, and this is quite a few years later.
Yeah.
And it's really analogous. Like the only thing that's different is her ability to see the way she will end up being treated. Like,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
like an acceptance of reality, which is an important part of feminism. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it is really interesting because I will tell you that I never connected that this was written by the same person, and it has changed the movie for me totally. Like totally, it makes me enjoy it so much more.
What I love about these two Fletcher creations really is that
Hmm.
she adapted the her radio play for the film, and in Sorry Wrong Number, at the end of it, Leona meets her fate after she's been shown being this way, that way, just being the way women were not supposed to be toward
Right?
their husband, not supposed to emasculate their husband or anything of
Yeah.
that nature. And so she meets her
Untimely
untimely
end.
death. Yeah, and I think part of it's like a studio's payback to Phyllis Dietrichson, and
Yeah.
her sort of way of doing things. But
Yeah.
but I think that's why they agreed to let Fletcher write the screenplay, because
Yeah.
she would give. They saw it as her like paying,
Right, like punishing the woman,
yeah,
but
it's
it didn't
yeah,
really. In a funny way, she gave her dignity.
and she
If you looked
did.
behind, yeah,
And I think that Fletcher was also, in the studio's eyes, Fletcher was writing a warning to women, but in her eyes, it was a flat out criticism. Like, look, this is the shit that goes on. This is the way it is right now, and it sucks and it's awful. But I'm presenting the truth as I see it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I totally agree, and I think one of the things that I really appreciate about the ending of Sorry Wrong Number is that the husband has to listen to his wife being murdered
Mm-hmm.
after realizing he doesn't need to go through with it, and
Mm-hmm.
that or need to have somebody else do it rather, but
Right.
and there is a suffering on his side that
It's
is,
excruciating.
yeah, and it
It's
is
excruciating.
akin to accountability, which is
Yeah.
a hard thing to deliver in that era of film,
Absolutely. Well, it's one thing that really always intrigued me, was that he makes that call at that time when he knows it's going to happen. He
Yeah.
knows it's going to happen, and he willingly makes that phone call. And there's something just so very tragic about it, obviously. But I find myself getting emotional that he wants to be there
Yeah.
for
And he
it,
can't. Yeah,
and
I
he
know, it's
can't.
weird.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing. I mean, it reminds me of so many other movies, like Dial M for Murder,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with the phone call and like using the phone call to make sure she was in the space. I
Yes.
never really gave it much thought about why he called, but it is a really good tool to hold him accountable, at least emotionally.
Yeah. Oh, because he's going to live with that for the rest of his life. I mean, that's and first of all, he's going to jail, so he will be punished for it in
Yeah,
the eyes of the law. But I think mentally, yeah, he's
I
that's
loved
it for
that.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did too. I did too. And I
it
love
was.
that capper of the end when that guy, the killer, says
Oh, he's
sorry,
like,
wrong
sorry, wrong
number.
number. I
Yeah, and
know.
just ends, and it's like
It's
no,
really so well written,
it is so well written.
Oh,
Oh
God, it is
gosh.
so good.
But with Night Watch, I really do think that it's Fletcher finally was having. She didn't have to hide behind. I'm gonna give the studio what they
The
want.
code, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is like I'm giving this heroine the ending that she has earned,
Yes,
basically.
I 100% agree. And
Hmm.
and let's see. Yeah, so she continues to like play into this hysterical woman, um kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Like routine,
Yeah,
or
exactly,
yeah,
or archetype or whatever, or trope.
yeah,
And they're all buying it. And Sarah, I want to just talk about Sarah for a second.
sure,
So
sure.
the thing that I hate about Sarah is not just that she's having an affair with her best friend's husband under her nose,
Hmm.
but also that her whole vibe is very much I'm like calm and cool, and
Hmm.
I'm like on his team, and I'm just, a cool girl or whatever
Yeah,
woman, and in reality, she is just like, she's like, there's no there, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and she goes out of her way to patronize Helen. And I use that term very deliberately because I do think that she takes on the affect of not just John, but like even the police or the other sort of men in the room, so to speak. Like
Hmm.
she really um just like takes on that role as if it makes her more powerful or different than Helen. Like she wouldn't be fucked over the
Ellen,
way.
Ellen,
Oh yeah. What did I say?
Helen.
But she starts accusing Ellen of seeing. Is that
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
Ellen?
yeah.
Okay, Ellen of seeing ghosts, mainly her ex-husband Carl,
Hmm.
and really, there's this one thing that she says that like pisses me off so much. She says that it could be an eidetic image, an image that is produced by the mind's obsession,
Hmm.
which I thought was interesting,
Yeah,
but also just like so horrible to be like, you're obsessed with your dead husband, as opposed to, I'm so sorry that you lost your husband and found out that he
right.
was having an affair at the same time. And now I'm contributing
Yeah.
to that trauma by
Hmm.
having an affair with your current husband. But you're the obsessive one. Like it's just it's
It
cruel
is
in
very
in a
cruel.
way that is hard.
No,
Yeah,
it
it's like
is.
hard to understand. And they don't ever really go into her motivations.
No, they don't. And she's just so very keeps everything very guarded. But the and be she is very guarded and very stiff upper lip British
Mm,
type woman. But she's also just very the way that she's so composed every single time.
yeah.
It
Ugh.
feels like she's just okay. I'm just gonna stay here patiently waiting for you to finally go over the edge. Take your time. I'm just here, and
It's
it's very
patronizing.
patronizing. It's again sadistic. That's just her nature, and
Hmm.
no, she's horrible. She's just a horrible
Yeah, she
person.
really is. And she very much does seem like an extension of him in
Hmm.
some ways.
Yeah.
Oh, so now, speaking of this patronizing bitch, so she then sees something across the way in the house, across the empty house. And she runs downstairs, runs into John as he's coming home after John and Ellen had a fight. And she says she's seen something again. And John's like, ugh. And she's like, no, I saw it too. And then it's taken seriously. And that's really obnoxious. But it also, if we're looking for Sarah's motivations, that's it right there. It's by playing this kind of like calm, cool, collected, you know, extension of the patriarchy, she is now then taken seriously.
Yes.
That's how she, you know, it's like, yeah. So she's taken seriously as opposed to, you know, being a hysterical woman.
She's joined that side.
Yes,
basically,
she's made her allegiances clear.
Almost like an informant. I mean, it's kind of like what you pointed out in the Double Indemnity Phyllis episode with Phyllis's stepdaughter, which I hate her. I know, which I never. It's interesting when you pointed that. I never ever thought Lola, whatever.
Lola, I think it's Lola.
Okay.
I think, yeah,
It's okay, her. But which I never saw. I never had thought about that. For me, whenever she says, "Oh, I'm not one of those hysterical women," or whatever the line is, I always took it to mean look, I know how you're going to treat me because it's the way men treat all women.
Right.
Cut that shit out. I'm telling you what happened, and I guess they all kind of like layer into each other.
Yeah, they do. It's true. It really does. It's true. Yeah, I never liked her. I mean, even when I was really, really very young, when I first saw that movie, I had this like burning hatred for her way, way before I had the language.
Right.
You know what I mean? It took me like the majority of my life to figure out like what that was.
Why don't I like this person?
It's like, why does this feel like it's a personal threat?
Yes, exactly. But Sarah is of the same cloth, I guess.
It's yes, cut of the same cloth, same ilk for sure. Oh, Ira just wrote "fuck you, Sarah."
Yeah, that tracks. That checks.
Okay, but because of this, now, you know, the double sighting, the cops take it more serious, and the next morning they dig up Mr. Appleby's flower beds. Yeah. And he's very upset about this, and this is like very much like a Rear Window moment. Actually, so on the nose, I liked that. I thought it was cute.
Exactly.
But there is no bodies in the flower beds. It's just a very upset Mr. Appleby.
Well, wasn't he found somewhere? Didn't they have reasons to suspect him?
Not yet. Well, the only reason they had is that that Ellen saw him digging the trench during the rainstorm.
That's what it was.
And it was like a grave digging, very much looking like grave digging situation. Yeah. But he's like, that's the best time to dig a flower bed is in the rain.
Yeah, which I did not know that if that's the case. But
I don't even know if that's true, but it probably is. Yeah. You know, he seems like he knows what he's talking about.
Kind of, So few people in this movie do.
I know. So now John brings in his friend, who's also a psychiatrist, to try to get him to treat his wife. And he wants him to like do it kind of tricky. Like, why don't you just come over for dinner and like, you know, observe her kind of thing. Because we don't like a now Voyager.
Because we don't need to tell her. We don't need to tell her.
No, of course not. No, she has no autonomy of her own. And to the doctor, I think his name is Tony, and to his benefit or credit, he says, no, I'm not doing that. But then he says, and this is a quote, "The moment she begins to mistrust her own judgment is when she will rely on mine."
Oh God, that's like a mad scientist line, you know, rather than a professional that, you know, or...
I know. It's like, it's a gaslighting, like 101. Yes. There's so much. It's like, I'm like, is that my ex-boyfriend? I don't know. It seems like it really feels like it might be. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, ripped from the same playbook.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I see where he learned it. Okay. Okay, so so that happened, and then what's next? Oh, this is a good scene. So, Okay, so she's wearing this plum colored, not the lilac one,
Hmm.
but a deep, like plum colored caftan-esque dress.
Yes,
It's
my
like,
favorite outfit.
oh really?
Well,
Oh,
it's
let's hear
it's a
what you think.
tie.
Tell me
It's a
everything.
tie. Um, well, I do not have the ability to read into costumes the way that you do, but I just I think I don't know if it's because the color is so striking,
It
because
is really
it is very
beautiful.
beautiful, and I think it's unlike the caftans, which have had a few things going on. I love the combinations
Yeah,
of the caftans and all her outfits, but I love that this is just like one color all the way through, and
right.
her costumes get progressively darker and darker as
Oh,
the
see, that's
movies.
something I didn't notice.
Yeah, for the most part, from what I can remember, they tend to get darker, and this one is it really worked for the scene because it's still very beautiful and glamorous, and of course looks amazing in it. And they have her lit in such a in
Her
such
makeup looks really great in this scene, I
oh,
remember
it's
too.
so great. And this is the flower scene where she's
Yes, where
just
she's tearing the zinnia, the
yeah,
yellow
yeah,
zinnia.
she's just
Yeah.
petal by petal ripping it off, and Sarah's reading a book. I forget what John's doing, but
She's such a bitch.
they're all yeah, they're all just waiting. Like, yeah, just go ahead, hurry up and get crazy. We got stuff we need to do. But
Gosh.
and she's just there, and it's really interesting if you because you watched this twice, did
Oh,
you?
I've watched it lots of times, but
Okay, yeah,
for this, I watched it twice. Yeah.
yes, and so it's very sort of you know, watching her in this scene, knowing what you know, the revelations that come.
Yeah, it's different once you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And she is it's like, the wheels are, not just turning, but they're, speeding really fast in her head. And it's you can tell that we're coming to something that's going to be very very powerful and very pack a punch, because she's getting to that point where, she's ready. She's ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's ready. This is also one of those scenes where you realize that, like, as calm and collected and as planned as she has been,
Uh-huh.
I think that throughout it, she has wanted to not just be wrong, but to have her husband step up.
Yeah.
And like, because the anger at this point, like, it's in real time. It's not just collected and then acted on. It's like you can tell that she still has a little hope.
Mm-hmm.
And or at least in my opinion, and I just don't, and like, he just, again,
No.
he doesn't, and do anything with it. And she cracks, and the thing about this scene that drives me the most insane is that they flirt with each other in
Yeah.
front of her.
Yeah.
It is fucking horrific. Like, I actually, my experience watching this movie, even before, like, even the first time before I really knew what was going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
was, I can't believe how controlled she is.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Because
Well, she's
I would have been
it's a marathon, not a
just,
sprint for her. You
yeah,
know.
I know she really keeps it under control, with the one exception of nobody believes me, and runs up the stairs, which was my favorite part. But
Yeah.
like, I just would have been throwing knives at this point. Like,
Yes.
I just can't even imagine. I mean, I can, but in it's like a horrific scenario. Um, yeah, it's just enough to make anybody ill,
It
you
is. It
know?
is. It is, because you feel you're. I start to feel like I'm going insane, which is especially in that scene, because it's so confined. It's the three of them just in the living room, and it's like, what's going to happen in this world? Like something has to combust.
Exactly. And so then, dinner is ready, and she's like, I'm not fucking hungry.
Mm.
And they go into dinner, and, Sarah's like, let's go to Bermuda, or where
Yeah.
is that where? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are we going to do about Helen? So disgusting.
Yeah. Ugh.
Meanwhile, she's upstairs. Ellen.
Ellen.
Ellen screams bloody murder and says she saw a dead girl in the window,
Hmm.
with her throat slit.
Now, I was not paying attention, but is that dead girl? Because we do see a dead girl at some point, a ghost.
Hmm.
Is that
Hmm.
the ghost of the the secretary
Yeah.
or whoever, her husband. Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's the ghost of her husband's mistress. And I
Right.
don't know. Yes. So and that's one of the other interesting things about this movie. It's like we know after having seen it that everything is staged, for her husband and Sarah's benefit. But at the same time, as an audience member, we see her see these things. We see her
Hmm.
actually see a dead body.
Hmm.
So it's like there is this part of her being like actually tortured by her, her dead husband
Hmm.
and his dead lover. That's real.
Yeah.
But also, you know, she's using it to her
I
advantage
was
in a
gonna
very
say,
calculated way.
yeah, it was.
Hmm.
It's also therapy for herself. Like this is how she's working through it
Totally.
in a way. Yeah, by using it, bending it to her will, rather than letting it
It
consume her.
destroy her.
Yeah.
Right,
Hmm.
exactly. Or letting them use her trauma to further
Exactly.
traumatize
It's my
her.
trauma. I'm gonna do what I want to with it, not yours.
That's right. That's right. Um, this is why you don't cheat on a woman who's been cheated on, because she's
Exactly.
gonna probably slit your throat.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
that could happen.
It could happen. So, they run upstairs to her, and of course, they give her another sedative. And this is really, really horrible. While she is passed out sleeping, they have sex in the other
Yeah.
room. And this is the part where it's like, oh God, I just don't even know. I don't
Hmm.
even know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just starts to the it's building up to what she's been building up to, which
Hmm.
is exacting this plan that she's had for a while, and I guess I guess we can launch into what this climax is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, she has she's she's being told that she's going to go to a place in Switzerland where she can rest. Code for
Mm,
we're gonna keep
yeah.
you there and probably lobotomize you. Was that still a thing in the 70s? I don't know.
I think it's perhaps it was.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows? Maybe just shock therapy. I don't think
yeah,
lobotomies
maybe,
were done
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. I know. Um, but not before signing power of attorney over to John, because she's the wealthy one. She's
Yeah.
very much she's like like Leona was the wealthy one
Yeah.
in her marriage, um, but she has hysterics, or feigns hysterics, I guess I should
Yeah.
say, to get John and Sarah over to the abandoned house. Um, and a cat and mouse ensues in a very, very well done sequence like that.
I
Even
love
if
it.
when you know what's going to happen, the construction of that's it's so well done. Yeah, the sound and the shadows. You don't know who is who anymore, and um, turns out that Ellen has um, taken lured them there to kill them,
Oh, and I love
and
it.
I
I
do
love
too,
it.
because they deserved it.
It is wonderful. Also, it occurs to me as I'm listening, like, this is the era of like a kind of slashery type horror,
Uh-huh.
like the beginning of that kind of horror. But this is not that. This
It
is,
isn't.
it really isn't. It's suspense,
Hmm.
but this part is very horror. But it makes me feel more like the dawn of feminist horror.
I
You know what
agree.
I mean?
Yeah, and well, I think that I have a really I love Grand Dame Guignol cinema, which started.
Hmm.
People say it started with Baby Jane and continued with the older actresses starring in slashers. And this is listed in Grand Dame Guignol Cinema, which is a book by Peter Shelley, a really great critic. And I'm not sure it really belongs there, because I don't think that Fletcher.
Yeah, I don't see it as quite in the same category,
I
but
don't
I see
know.
how it ended up there,
I see
like
how it
how
ended
you
up
would
there
put it there.
too, because I think
Yeah,
that
it's mostly the time
it
period.
is the time. Yeah, no, for sure. But I part of me is hesitant too, because I think that she just didn't write that
I
type.
agree.
Yeah,
I
she
think if it wasn't Elizabeth Taylor, it wouldn't be there.
exactly, the fact that she's so high
Hmm.
profile, because Fletcher dealt with the psychology of the characters. That was her first and foremost her forte, rather than the twists and the thrills, of which she was really, really good at. But this is really a study in psychology of a complex woman.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Clute, which is just, again, another time period thing, but also psychology of a character and just another really well done movie. And obviously, Clute would never be in that category just because of the age of the actress. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
So that is a really good point about this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to, the part that I really want to talk about
Sure.
is after, so basically John finds her hiding in the corner of this main room that she's able to see from across from her house, and she kills him. She slashes his throat. She puts him in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sarah comes into the room, comes to the chair, and sees him dead with his throat slashed. And then that's when she turns around and she sees I almost called her Leona.
Ellen.
Ellen, and
or the ghost of Leona, perhaps.
Yeah. And her face is now of this like child, that her ex-husband was having an affair with, and she just goes at her, stabbing her over and over again. And then she slits her throat. And it's so brutal.
It is.
And so wonderful.
I'd forgotten how much, and I watched it with my boyfriend, and even he was like, she's really going at it, isn't she?
She really went for it.
Yeah, she did. And then the throat.
Loved it. I love it. And normally I would be a little bit protective over the woman in the other woman scenario, but not in this one, because this bitch is working for the patriarchy.
Yeah, she did her no favors, and this is someone that she knew prior to her husband. At one point, that was
staying in her house.
Yes.
I mean, Jesus.
I know, this is supposed to be like one of her closest confidants, and the fact that
it's fucking gross.
Yeah.
It's really gross. But then another really fun thing is, so now she's going basically on vacay instead of the mental institution.
Yes.
And like you said, like her outfits did get darker the whole way. Like there was the plum one, and then there was like a dark burgundy one where she was getting ready for the mental institution. Yes. And that was like a puce color, like really like blood, dark. But now she's wearing a white suit. And to me, I'm just like, oh my God, she's a feminist hero. Yes. And this is like a suffragette moment. And it's just like, for me, the movie could have ended here. Like I would have been thrilled to see her with her little alligator bag and her Valentino white suit go off and live her best life.
No, it's my second favorite outfit, because it is like, first of all, it really suits her. And I think the sort of like tan blouse she has underneath and the matching scarf. They have
and it's floral too,
they have
so
daisies.
It has like joy.
Yes. Yeah, so she's like
the zinnia, like the
and
now she's found her joy again.
She's found her joy. She's renewed. She's she's like, it's me, and I'm gonna make myself okay. I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah. You're so right. The floral shirt underneath. Also, just as a side note, like there's only a couple years in history where we wore long sleeved blouses under short sleeved things. And it is such a look that it's like, no. I'm happy to see it. Anytime I see it, I'm happy. Okay?
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But so then Mr. Appleby, the weird neighbor, comes in, and it becomes clear that
poor guy, by the way.
I know, right? He really has gotten caught up in this.
I know. She kind of owes him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like the gig is up for her, but he's like, listen, the police won't believe me either. And I liked that, because it was kind of like, I'm just like a crazy poor neighbor, and you're a woman, like, so we need to like stick together. You know what I mean?
She's got an ally. Yeah.
Yeah, they're allies.
Yeah,
and I also love that she's like, she knows that he loves her house, which he grew up in. And she's like, do you want to watch it while I'm away? And for me, that was like a real like Howard's End moment.
It kind of is, yes. There's like some touchingness to it. And also like kind of like a wink wink at the, kind of like a dark humor sort of thing to it as well. But I love about that scene, just before she makes one more call to the inspector.
Oh yeah.
With like, please, like, I saw another body or something like that. And he's like, no, I can't. Hangs up. She's like, thought you might say that.
Oh my
Oh,
God, you're
yes.
so right. That was so good. And
Yeah.
the way that she was able to like act out the hysteria and like not being able to catch a breath, it was honestly
Yes.
like, I hope one day I can.
Well, she was good at that. I love like the scenes on the stairs. Every time she has to claim she's seen a dead body,
Weaponize the hysteria.
yeah,
Yeah.
she I think back to Suddenly Last Summer.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a really
Oh,
long
I
time.
love it. I love it to death. But she used sense memory back in that for that film, and she used it here as well because she had her second husband, Mike Todd, died famously in a plane crash that she was meant to be on, but couldn't
Right.
go. And so when they told her, and she couldn't go because she had the flu or a cold, but
Hmm.
they told her, and she really got into hysterics. She lost it. She had a new
Wow.
baby, and it was she lost the man that she really loved and that loved her. And so every time I see her in one of these scenes, I was like,
You can feel it.
yeah, like she's playing this for real, and it makes all the difference in the world.
It really does, because it's like it is that line between like being treated a certain way and then also like the depth of emotion that
Hmm.
you just have as a human, as a woman, or as is what like that is also there.
Right.
And she
Absolutely.
is one of the best at that
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we loved this movie.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful for you for pointing out that it is in fact Leona's
It
Revenge.
is, and it is Leona's Revenge. It's Fletcher saying like, right now, this is what this is the way this character should be able to go out, close her story, and Leona didn't get that, sadly. But this is Leona coming back for unfinished business. The spirit of Leona coming back through Ellen. What I did not know was Fletcher's own impetus to write the play, because this is based on a Broadway
Oh, I
play.
didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It came out a couple years before the movie, and
Hmm.
Joan Hackett actually played the role of Ellen. Yeah, which I could just see Last of Sheila, Joan Hackett in this
Yeah,
role. Yeah,
100 love
oh,
Last of
I know,
Sheila.
me too.
It's so good.
But what I did not know was that Fletcher drew inspiration for Night Watch from Bernard Herrmann, who she was married to.
I don't think I ever realized she was married to Bernard
I always
Herrmann.
forget that she was.
Speaking of great scores of
Yeah,
movies, you know what I
yeah, no
mean?
kidding. But
Wow.
Herman actually had an affair with her cousin.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God,
And
that ruins so
I
much for
know
me.
it does. Well, the music's still good, but yeah.
I know,
Yeah, I
but
know. I
Jesus, but it
know.
definitely does have like a tinge of like, I want to watch her drowned to it. Like
Yes.
when I'm really thinking about like Vertigo, I'm like, it's dark as, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, wow, that's so
So
interesting.
so obviously that they both got remarried. Or Fletcher got married to somebody else, and that marriage lasted I think until he died. Like, it was a good long lasting
Hmm.
marriage. But that was the inspiration for Night Watch, and I can't help but think that she gave Ellen what she would have wanted, maybe, or just she
Yeah.
definitely worked through some stuff by writing this piece.
Wow. See, well, and I always thought the name Leona and even Ellen, it's very similar to Lucille.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
know? I
Yeah.
always think that when I see those names. But yeah, that's amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah, I
I
know.
love
Isn't
that.
that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I also love, there are a couple of other touches that I just really 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 like. First of all, I love that she's working on this puzzle throughout throughout the
Same.
film, and then when you see it in the last scene, one of the last frames, it's finished.
Oh,
She
see, I didn't notice that. I
Yes.
didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I love that.
She's finished.
What is the puzzle of?
I
Do you
can't
know?
remember. I can't remember
I
that
remember it was kind
detail.
of dark imagery. It was like art, but it was sort of like
Yeah, it got a little Renoir-ish sort of thing, but I can't pick out what it was. But yeah, but no, but she's finally, like, she put all the pieces together and she's done.
mhm.
Everything's falling into place. Yeah, no, I think that there are a lot of parallels here between Sorry Wrong Number and Night Watch, like we've said. Like, there's
Yeah.
a wife left to her own devices. there's wealth used as a point of contention between a husband and a wife.
Right, because it equalizes them,
Yes.
and which is not fair according to the man, right? It's like an equalizer, and that's why she must pay.
Exactly. There's attempts to cry out for help and not being believed, or really even nobody caring that much.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, and as previously mentioned, husband consulting a wife's doctor without her being present in the room,
which was still legal, even in 1973, I believe.
Yeah.
Like you didn't. That was totally normal. But also just really, really, really disgusting. I mean, the only real difference I think, like in the structure, is the lack of a father.
Yes.
And I think that's because of the time period. You don't need that in 1973 the way you did in.
I mean, it was the
early 40s.
It was the ERA was already in full swing. Amendment was already in full swing. I mean, like the fight for that. And
the fight for that. 1978 was when the vote was, but I only know that because my sister's name is Emily Rebecca Aubel for ERA.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I always thought so too. I would have monograms all over me. Like I'd be like, but she never did that. But I always thought that was really cool.
Right.
But yeah, it didn't pass. So is there anything else we want to say?
I think that rewatching this film, like I said before, it's just so delicious because once you know everything that's happening, Ellen becomes a different character altogether.
And you see her mind working in ways that you didn't before.
Right. No, absolutely. It's and Taylor's performance remains consistent throughout, but it takes on a different coloration, and you see, the machinations, in all their glory, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think I know this was made during Elizabeth Taylor's bomb period with quotation marks, because, and it's labeled a bomb period justly because, it's a business and none of these films made a lot of money.
Right. But also the whole industry was under massive changes in the early 70s. I mean, Jesus, I
know. It was like the Faye Dunaways were coming up, and, it was, what movies were different. But I really think that she pivoted a lot more. I think it's unjustly labeled a bomb period because it showed her taking risks, and she was attracted to unconventional material, more character-driven material. My favorite from this period is The Only Game in Town, which is she plays a Las Vegas showgirl with.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's her and Warren Beatty, and it's George Stevens, the director of Giant. And it's.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I think you mentioned it to me once, maybe.
I might have, yeah. And it's basically.
I don't think I've ever seen it though.
I rewatched it again after The Last Showgirl, because I love The Last Showgirl, but
so do I. Yeah.
And it's basically these two people who move in together. He's a gambler, and she's just unlucky in love.
I'm gonna write it down.
Okay, and she's just unlucky in love.
Right.
And so they form this sort of like codependent bond on one another, and it's really great. And the tag has one of those like taglines that's just like, dice was his vice, men were hers. And it's like, oh my god.
Oh, I love that.
Sign me
up.
Oh
my god.
It's
yeah.
Really
what
great.
Year is it?
70, I want to say. It's 70.
Love it.
Yeah, but then you also have like the Joseph Losey films, like Secret Ceremony with Mia Farrow, which is so twisted, and Boom, which is so crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I wish that this film had a better afterlife. It had unenthusiastic reviews when it came out, and it didn't particularly make a lot of money. But Stephen King, fun fact, listed it on his top 10 scary movies list in that book he did, that nonfiction book, Dance Macabre. He put it as one of the scariest films for him. So it has that little.
Yeah, I wonder, does it have like a cult following? Because I love it, but I never. You were the only other person who I know that even knew what it was.
Yes. Yeah. That's sadly the case. Yeah.
Is it? I hope maybe one day it will have a resurgence, because it really, or a surgence.
Find its audience. It deserves to find its audience.
Yeah, because it is really good. It isn't really like a a kind of a slasher film. It's
It's a
something else.
psychological thriller. I think it
It
earns that
is
label for me. Sure.
I do. It's more like it's even, and I'm thinking of like Hitchcock movies from the 70s, and I think it's much better than
Yeah, right.
those. Like it's this other thing that isn't yet a genre. Like it's not psychological. It's neo-noir
Yeah, it
almost to
can be.
me.
It can be. And I love that. I
Yeah.
think it's because for me personally, I'm drawn to genre blends. And I think
Hmm.
you can get the most interesting kinds of stories through that
Yeah.
because, I mean, life is a genre blend. We don't live in just one genre. So, and I think this film is not afraid to straddle the lines or dip its toes into other areas of film.
Yeah, you're so right. But unfortunately, I think that's one of the reasons that it kind of gets
Yeah.
pushed aside is like people don't know what to do with it, or
Yeah.
it just like people don't see it. It goes under
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
radar, and it's so
It
good,
is.
you
It
know?
is. And but yeah, we audiences then and now, maybe less now to some extent, but audiences, I think the instinct is to categorize everything that's in front of them. And
Mm-hmm.
I think about art, good art really is should be hard to categorize because it should shapeshift.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be like alive.
I have one question to ask you because I do not
Sure.
know. I have an answer, but my answer always changes. But do you think that Ellen formulated the plan when she first sees the house in the film? Because there's that moment when she first sees the
Yes.
house, and it's almost like her and the house are
Hmm.
sizing each other up in a way,
Yes, I do.
or
I
then in there
do.
in the living room,
Okay.
or was it more premeditated than that?
Okay. I think that the plan itself, the plan to get back at them was premeditated. How was formulated in that moment? That's when she starts with the puzzle. And that's when she looks at that house. So I don't think it all came to her right then, but I think that's when she realized she had an opportunity with that
Right.
house. Now, here's a question for
Okay.
you that I very much like. To me, it doesn't really matter, but like the Dipco of it all, like the fact that she finds out that they've bought into Dipco and that Dipco owns the
Mm-hmm.
house. So the answer to that might answer your question,
Mm.
because did she buy the house or did he
Oh,
buy the house? Do you know what
yeah.
I
I
mean?
yeah. If it
Or did she just take advantage of that? Like what?
if oh god, that's such a good question. I never thought about that. If
I never thought about it either until we were doing this, because I'm like, to me, it just doesn't really matter.
But
But
I
like,
think
it's like,
if she did buy the house,
mhm.
then it was definitely way more premeditated than I thought. And then when we first see her look at the house in the film, it's like, okay, it's time. Let's do this. Yeah, no turning back.
I'm I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna go with that because I think even the way she brings up Dipco when he asks her to sign the
Uh-huh.
papers is like
Ditko being the organization, the corporation that
that
yeah,
bought
and
the
that which
house.
she owns.
Yeah, that now owns the
Yeah.
house. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Like I don't know. It felt purposeful, but also like he didn't seem to it didn't seem to register with him at
No.
all. So like but it was like this setup to make it look like they were using the house to make her go crazy.
Mm.
That was another thing. I was like, I don't know. That is a kind of an
It
unanswered
is.
question for me. But I also think that it was just part of her plan. I'm going
I
to go
think
with
so
that.
too. I don't see
I
him.
can look it up, I guess, to see what other people think, but I'm also like, whatever.
I
It
know.
doesn't really matter. It doesn't
No,
affect the
it
story.
doesn't at all. No, not it doesn't at all. But I think I agree with you. I think that she bought that. I don't see him buying that house. I don't see him like buying.
He's an
Yeah,
idiot.
yeah, exactly. And it's her money at first and foremost. He was
Right.
having her signed over everything, power of attorney.
Power of
Yeah.
attorneys.
So I
Right.
think she had to have bought that house.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
so too. I think so too. And I think they just probably like in cutting it, that didn't get
Yeah.
flushed out. Because it doesn't really matter. But like, I think that's right. I think you're right
Yeah.
about
For
that.
sure.
Okay. All right. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I have as well. I never thought I would be on a podcast to talk about Night Watch because because
Oh my God, I
it's so
love
I
it.
struggle to find anyone that even has heard about it.
I'm Madeline Jane Auble. Thank you for listening to this bonus episode of Window Dressing. And a special thanks to my guest, Frank Calvillo. Please like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening. And follow me on Instagram at Window Dressing Podcast for more content.
You can catch my reviews on the blog Synapse, on the podcast One of Us, and you can follow me on Instagram at frank.calvillo.3.